And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Thursday, June 29th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is a Thursday morning, and we're glad to have you with us. We're happy to have our two friends from Bates Ford here this morning. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon, the dealer to trade for anything it don't eat. Paul Tubbs, good morning.
Good morning.
Ronnie Kelly, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Ronnie's a big salesman, been there for 36 years, and Paul is the general manager, 24 years and counting, I think.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Got any baseball to report on?
Well, I've been on the road to Smith County all week. My 10-year-old Lebanon Youth All-Star team, we've been playing districts up there, so we got to win one more. We're undefeated at this point, but we got to beat Gallatin 2 out of 3. We won last night, so we got to travel back tonight and hopefully bring home some.
Double elimination?
It is. It's kind of like the College World Series. We round robined, and then us and Gallatin finished in the top 2, so we played last night the first game and beat them. So we get to travel back to Smith County tonight.
And if you win?
We're done.
Oh.
We'll go to the state. We're done with districts.
Yeah,
so
right.
We'll go to the state in Maryville.
Well, you're kind of looking forward to that, no doubt.
Oh, yes. Love it.
Yeah. Ronnie, what's on your mind this morning?
Well, what was on my mind, F-150 that Bates Ford. So right now we have a great selection of new F-150s, and we also have a great selection of used cars and also used trucks. And the good thing about our inventory right now, we have a lot of inventory, and right now we got so much inventory that we need to get rid of it. It's 4th of July. We need to get something going, and we hope that I understand it's real hot outside and it's very hot. So if you want to come in the afternoon or give our salesperson a call, and we'll set up an appointment and put something together for you.
Well, mentioning air conditioning, you do air conditioning work, I suppose. Somebody's air conditioning goes out on the car.
That's one of the reasons building a new dealership is that we stay so backed up and that kind of stuff at this time of year. So, our service department's going to be twice the facility that we got now. That way we can do double. But we've got air conditioner, we've got 2 guys that's certified through Ford that does air conditioner work on vehicles. And, when you do that, you have to make sure people think, well, can you just throw me some Freon in there? And unfortunately, the EPA doesn't let us do that. We have to actually do a leak down test, make sure it's not leaking out into the environment. Now they've got Freon that's environmentally safe and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of guidelines that people don't understand when we do air conditioner work. So if you bring it in, what we'll have to do is actually put Freon in, and because it's a sealed system and it shouldn't leak. So we have to test and find the leak and then fix that and make sure that it's environmentally safe.
A little bit more complicated than it used to be.
Yeah, there was a picture one time, and I wish I still had it. It had the engine of a Ford vehicle, and then it said, "Not a brain surgeon, but close." So it's pretty true. I see them guys that work for me get under these cars and some of the stuff, the electronics that they got on vehicles now, and the guidelines like EPA guidelines with AC and different things. It's a whole different world now.
Well, I'm just thinking here, the 4th of July is next Tuesday. Will you be open, be closed? What's the situation?
We're closed Tuesday.
The sales department closed too, Ron?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, everybody gets a day off to celebrate our nation's birth.
Yep, they're going to shoot fireworks, I guess. No, we'll be off Tuesday and celebrate. Mr. Bates is big on stuff like that. We will be open Monday. I know a lot of places are closed Monday. We'll be open Monday, closed Tuesday, and then normal hours on from there.
Well, Ronnie, you want to talk about F-150s this morning?
Yes, we talked about F-150s, and also, at 4th of July, I think Trousdale County had a parade, and I think Bates Ford will probably have a vehicle in that parade. And
Trousdale County,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, that's great.
We serve those counties over there. We Lafayette, Carthage. We get a lot of customers there.
You gonna be over there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we always mention batteries and tires and oil changes.
Right, $39.95 up to 5 quarts. Tires, we've done an excellent job. We've really got a lot of people purchasing tires for our low tire prices. I've put them on all kinds of different makes and models. I have a lot of friends and business partners that will call me and say, hey, can you price me a set of tires for this vehicle? Some of them being Chevys, Dodge, Toyotas, it doesn't matter. I mean, we put tires on every make and model. Our batteries, I'll remind you every week. your $200 and something battery from the parts house, and then Bates Ford's $149.95, 3-year warranty. It prorates after 100 months, so you get it free. If the battery goes bad the first 3 years, it's a free replacement. From then on, you get the proration.
Well, you'll be glad to know that my wife, Helen, the other day, somebody was talking about a battery, and they went somewhere and how much they had to pay, and she says, you could have got it for $140, $150 at Bates Ford.
I got Helen advertising for me, so that's a good thing.
Well, it probably doesn't get much better than that.
No, I agree 100%.
Well, y'all have a great weekend, a great 4th. Ronnie, sell a few for us, you know.
Yes, sir.
You're going to sell them for you and Bates Ford.
We're going to be okay.
You love it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And the best to your team. Maybe you'll make it to Maryville.
I hope we do, but I think we should, so we're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, that's it for Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon. Ronnie Kelly, Paul Tubbs. They're the dealer to trade for anything you don't eat. I want to welcome my guest this morning, who is one of our judges here in Wilson County, Judge Inslee Hagan, General Sessions Judge, Division 3. Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you?
I'm doing very well, Coleman. Thank you.
Well, it's nice to have you with us. You are one of the 7 or 8 people, I guess, 6 or 7, that substitute for me when I take a vacation. And you have had experience in radio and TV, but you went where the money was.
Well, radio certainly was my first love. I will say that. I worked for 6 years in Knoxville at WIVK and WNOX in the news department. And radio news, as we know, is a kind of a dying, if not already dead, medium. But I loved it, and I learned more in those 6 years, and I think that all the years that I spent in school, I really did.
You mentioned WIVK, and that is a name, that is a call sign that really stands out. It's been a big station in Knoxville. I mean, I've heard about it nearly all my adult life.
Yeah. Jim Dick started that station in the early 1950s, and we grew, and I say we, the station grew to have about a 40% or more market share, which is just remarkable.
Yeah.
No other station in the country has that kind of market share.
Well, how are they doing now? Do you keep up with them still?
I do still a little bit. They're still number one in their market by far. I don't know that they have a 40% anymore, but they still do extraordinarily well. But Mr. Dick, just like this station with Susie, was very involved in the community. And so they were very plugged in, and that's how they really generated that kind of loyalty from their listeners.
Yeah. You were strictly news?
I was news, and I did a little bit of talk show hosting.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. But not a disc jockey.
I was not a disc jockey. I never did spin a record.
Well, unlike your father, Tony, who,
Correct.
when he was in high school, came in at about 3:05 and played the records, the hit records, the rock and roll and whatever.
Radio was his first love as well. I think that he probably should have stayed with radio. Law was never his thing, but I learned to love the law as well.
Well, is this your first term? Explain how you got to be General Sessions Judge, Division 3.
Judge Gwynn retired middle of his second term, and the county commission appointed me.
I remember now.
I had to run, so I was appointed, and I took office January 1, 2019. I had to run in 2020, which was the first general election, to finish the term, which expired in 2022, and then I ran in 2022 for a new 8-year term.
So you've actually had 2 campaigns.
I've had 2 campaigns, thankfully, unopposed.
But one was for about 2 years, maybe.
Exactly.
And then the last one, you got an 8-year term, a full term.
Correct.
So
yes.
it's a while before you got to even think about that again.
2030, we all judges will run again.
Have there been many changes in the fairly short time you've been there?
There's been a lot of change, Coleman, with COVID, technology, the use of video conferencing, Zoom, those kind of things that really. I had been on the bench about 14 months, March of 2020, and COVID hit, and the Supreme Court initially said, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks and we'll come back and everything will be fine. Well, we all know it didn't work out that way. And so my judicial assistant, Amy Knatzer, and I we're talking late March, and we said, we have to serve the people. We have to have cases moving. And so we said, let's try out this Zoom thing. I personally had never heard of Zoom, never used Zoom. I've done FaceTime on my phone, but that's about it. And we said, we tried it out one afternoon, just she and I. Later that day, we had a 3.5 hour hearing on Zoom with the attorneys and the parties involved. And we've been using that technology ever since. And I will continue to do that. It's very convenient. We have a lot of lawyers who appear in my court from Nashville and Murfreesboro and the surrounding counties. And they might have a hearing that lasts for 5 minutes. So it's much more economical for them to appear on the computer from their office versus getting in their car, driving 30, 40 minutes one way to a 5-minute hearing.
Was there much adjustment that went with this?
A lot of adjustment. A lot of people don't treat it or didn't treat it as real court. We would have people who would appear in their pajamas and from maybe even from their bedroom, and it's hard for some folks to realize that even though we're on a computer, you're still in court. Even though the location is different, you're still in court, and you should treat it with the same respect.
But you haven't fined anybody, I hope, because they happen to be in their pajamas.
Well, it's hard to hold somebody in contempt of court unless I've got them in my presence. I can't actually take them into custody if they're sitting in their bedroom. So I've had to continue some hearings because people were not behaving or acting appropriately. But we've not. I don't have the ability to actually take them into custody and put them in jail.
Well, I mentioned that you're a judge, General Sessions Judge Division 3. That indicates that there are 2 other divisions.
That's correct.
And we'll go to a break here. We'll come back. I want you to explain those 3 divisions and what pertains to you.
Sure.
Okay. Judge Inslee Hagen, my guest, and this is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. They have a deal designed to keep you ahead of schedule. Check out the world's #1 selling compact excavator plus 0% financing. It's going on now until the end of the year. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're still up north working that accident on 24 eastbound in OHB. Again, that's causing some delays now coming past the Jolton exit on 24 eastbound as you approach Old Hickory Boulevard. It's crowded already up to the Hickory Hollow area. We've had a couple of incidents earlier on 24 westbound and inside Davidson County, slowing down that traffic even more so coming in from Rutherford and Murfreesboro right now on 24 westbound. Give yourself a little bit of extra travel time. Hey, if you own your own business, you may be ready for your next adventure. Dynamite Brokers can help you sell your business with a huge profit. Check them out online at dynamitebrokers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Continue here on a Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. My thanks to Judge Inslee Hagen for making that appearance here. It's only right you get to be my guest if you're going to guest host every once in a while, too.
Well, I'm honored to do it when I get the opportunity. I really do enjoy it.
We used to have one General Sessions judge, and I remember In fact, I remember Mr. Tom Sexton, which would have been back in the late 40s, I guess. He was the General Sessions judge for quite some time. I don't know who all followed him, but then at
Dan
some
C.
point,
may have followed him.
he came along somewhere in there for sure. And Then we've got 2, and now we have 3. Explain those, if you will.
Judge Tatum is our Division 1. Judge Lee, Jimmy Lee, is our Division 2, and I'm Division 3. Judge Tatum, and we divide our jurisdiction, the cases that we hear up a little bit differently than some other counties. Judge Tatum is our juvenile judge who hears our dependency and neglect cases. He, along with Magistrate Kennedy, we now have Magistrate David Kennedy, they hear delinquent cases, that's juveniles who get in trouble, and also truancy and unruly cases. Judge Tatum also hears civil cases that are disputes for less than $25,000, rental disputes, those kind of things. Judge Lee exclusively hears our criminal general sessions cases. And then I am a private act judge, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but the legislature created Division 3 to hear divorce cases and probate cases and juvenile custody cases, and also hear orders of protection. So we're a little bit different than other counties, but primarily about probably 95% of my caseload is family law. That'd be juvenile custody and divorce and post-divorce cases. Probably 5 to 5.5% probate and orders of protection are somewhere small in there, but I would consider those really the family law cases as well.
You of course, went to law school. How well does that prepare you to be a judge?
Well, it gives you the foundational knowledge of law. I don't believe, at least when I went to law school, I don't believe that it does a very good job of preparing you how to practice law. It teaches you the law. It teaches you how to research the law and the foundations that are necessary. But learning to practice law, I think, is a different thing altogether. And I believe practicing law, actively practicing law, is the best preparation for being a judge. Learning how cases work, learning how to deal with people, learning how to deal with other lawyers. Those are things that I really don't know that there's a way to do that in a classroom setting. It's one of those things you really have to learn as you go, and that's why I think they call it the practice of law, not the mastery of law.
Well, I'm wondering, you being General Sessions Judge Division 3, do you practice law on the side?
Not in Wilson County.
Oh.
So there are smaller counties. It is a part-time position. Smith County is part-time. DeKalb County is part-time. Trousdale County is part-time. In Wilson County, because it is a full-time position, we are not allowed to practice law.
So you're the judge and that's it?
That's it. And same thing, Davidson County, Rutherford County, Sumner County, the larger counties, and I'm not sure that there is a population threshold, and I'm not sure what that number is, but once the county reaches a certain size, then, and it's primarily because the legislature mandates the salary, and so when the county has to pay a certain amount, it becomes a full-time position.
Well, what's a typical week like for you?
Well, we have trials Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Thursdays is our motion day. That's our busiest day of the week. We have a probate docket every Wednesday morning at 9, and I'm doing that via Zoom, as we were talking about. On Thursdays, we have our short motions, typically via Zoom. And if it's going to require a testimony from witnesses or parties, we typically will have that in person on Thursdays. Thursday afternoon, we have our orders of protection as well as additional hearings. But our primary trial days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after probate, and Friday.
Well, now, is this something you pretty much set up yourself for your court? This is the way you feel best. It ought to be done this way. This is the best way to do it.
This is something that I did. I modified what Judge Gwynn was doing prior to me. So Judge Gwynn, this court was created in 2008. I took office 10 years later, 2019. Judge Gwynn was doing it a little bit different. He did orders of protection on Wednesday. I moved some things around, and so I do all of that on Thursday. And the reason was I was trying to create more days where we could have trial days. Mm-hmm. So Wednesday, normally Monday, Tuesday, Friday, we'll start trials at 9 o'clock. on Wednesdays, because we have probate, that docket normally lasts about an hour. So I'll have trial starting at 10 o'clock on Wednesdays, but we'll have the rest of the day for that. And that way, Thursday, I put orders of protection on that day to where I can try and consolidate as many motions as possible and short matters to where I can give those other 4 days for full day trials.
You seem to really have a track to run on here, so to speak. But do you get off track sometimes?
Well, of course, we're all human. We have our schedule. The thing, one thing about the cases that I hear is that divorce cases and post-divorce matters and juvenile custody matters often don't settle until the very last minute. And it's often because the attorney has tried to tell their client, look, we need to get this done, we need to get this done. And it's not until the attorney says, well, if you're going to take this to trial, you're going to owe me X amount of dollars. Then the individual says, well, I don't want to dig that deep in my pocketbook. Maybe I will accept this settlement offer. And so those things settle at the last minute. That's good and bad in that if a case settles 2 or 3 days before trial, it's very difficult for me to put another trial in there. And I don't typically double stack cases because it's very difficult for the lawyers to get prepared and then be told, oh, your case is not going to be heard. And then they have it heard several months down the road.
Do you feel you have a good rapport with the lawyers that come into your court?
I feel like I do. I hope that I do. I hope that one of the things that they don't tell you is when you take the bench, you're putting yourself on an island. It's very isolating. You don't get feedback. When you're in the practice of law, you might hear from another lawyer, well, that was really not a very smart thing for you to do, or, hey, that was a great idea, way to go. When you're on the bench, you don't get feedback for obvious reasons. The lawyers don't want to offend you, but I miss that camaraderie. I miss that feedback from the bar, and you don't really get that when you're on the bench. So I do feel like we do. We're on track this year, Coleman, to do about 400 new divorces. That's not a good thing, obviously, but that's just where we are as a county. Last year, it was probably in the neighborhood of 360 divorces. And that's just new divorces. That's not post-divorce custody or juvenile.
Now, all these cases that come in your court, you're the judge, and so you have to make a decision. You don't have a jury. That's a different ballgame, so to speak. There's a lot of weight on your shoulders to get it right. It's got to be.
There is a great deal of pressure, and certainly anybody in this position, if you don't feel that, then you're not, I don't think, doing it right. What you have to do is hope that the lawyers involved, if they're not lawyers, you hope the individuals present the best case they can, and you decide each case on the facts that are presented. And you hope you get it right. I remember, and I think I mentioned this on the air the last time I was out here with Chancellor Smith. Right after I got the appointment, Chancellor Smith, I saw him, and he said one excellent piece of advice. He said, if you're still thinking about a decision that you made several days after you made it, you got it wrong. And that really, really struck a nerve with me. And to be honest, I made a decision in an alimony case probably 6 months in, and I was still thinking about it 4 or 5 days later. I called the parties back in, and I changed my mind. I changed my decision.
But you can do that.
I can. I can.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's sort of admitting a mistake.
And I will admit when I make a mistake. I don't have a problem with that. I don't believe, nor do I pretend that I know it all or that I'm going to always get it right. I realize, human frailty, and we're not. I don't pretend to be omnipotent.
What are the hardest cases for you?
The hardest cases are those that deal with children in child custody. and believe it or not, it's the ones where we've got two really good parents, and you're having to make a decision about which parent the child or children will reside with primarily, which will determine where they go to school and those kind of things. When you have two excellent parents, it's very hard. When you have one parent who's clearly doing better and been more of a parent to the children, it's not as complicated. We see a lot of, unfortunately, substance abuse now, and I honestly think that has increased from COVID. I really think that period of 2.5 years or so, I really think escalated alcohol abuse and other drug abuse, and I believe that has resulted in our increased numbers in divorces and post-divorce
Wish
cases.
we had more time. Look at the clock there. There's 40 seconds left, something like that. I've really enjoyed your visit.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you coming out, and I'll be hollering at you probably come September and let you guest host for it.
I greatly look forward to it, and I've enjoyed my time this morning. Thank you.
So much. Judge Inslee Hagan, General Sessions Judge Division 3, my guest this morning. We're going to take a break right here. We invite you to stay with us for part 2 coming up here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, that regular oil change $39.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, $16.73 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still running pretty slow at times. 24 westbound, trying to get out of Rutherford County, headed towards Nashville. We did have a couple of wrecks earlier, and now it's running pretty slow. 24 west up by Sam Ridley, trying to clean up that wreck north of town on 24 east right at OHB. That's slowing down that traffic just a bit as you come past the Jolton exit, approaching OHB there on 24 going eastbound. Hey, Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. If you want your house painted right the first time by professionals, you'll check with these guys first. They're online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
And now, a moment of silence to remember our dear friend.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. With a wide range of air conditioners, furnaces, and heat pumps, Rheem makes it easy to feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
A.G. & Johnson is your experienced real estate and auction company, specializing in residential, commercial, and personal property auctions. Did you know that auctions are a fast and efficient way to sell your property? Auctions reduce time on the market and have an exact selling date. Call us for an in-home consultation today at 615-444-0909. A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main Street in Lebanon, or find us online at agandjohnson.com. Voted best auction company in Wilson County.
We were talking about dangerous heat coming our way, folks. The thermometer will get into the low 90s today, but it's the heat index that will make things tough outside. An excessive heat warning from the National Weather Service kicks off at 11 this morning and lasts until Friday evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number 1 Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It's a Thursday morning, and we're ready to do it for A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main in London. Jay White is with us. Jay, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
We have Helene Cash here. Good morning, Helene.
Good morning, Coleman.
And that phone number, of course, that we always do together here for A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction at 728 West Main is
615-444-0909.
Jay, you got an auction.
We do, Coleman. We've got an online sale that's going to kick off, and you can get online and take a look at it today. Start your bidding on July the 3rd. I think 13th.
Yeah. No, I'm so
3rd.
sorry. That's me.
July
I'm wrong.
3rd.
That's wrong.
And it'll go through through Monday, July the 17th at 6 p.m. for a soft close. And you can pick up on Thursday, June the 20th. But you can start your bidding on the 3rd of July. But
We do. It's down in Gladeville. We're going to have a viewing day down there, so come out and be with us. We've got a nice pickup down there with low miles on it, a Chevrolet pickup down there with very low miles. If you're looking for good transportation, come out and take a look at that. Got a couple of tractors, Massey Ferguson tractors. I think one of these tractors was bought new from Bland Motors here in Lebanon, and we talked with you. I don't remember Bobby Griffin called, and he had the paperwork where he delivered it to this fellow back in 1965.
You remember Doris Bland?
I sure do.
Oh, don't we all if we ever knew him?
we sure did. I went to church with Doris back when I was a kid down in Gladeville at the Baptist church down there. But I remember Doris real well. He was a great fellow, and with Bobby too. But anyway, we're going to be so
joker too.
He sure was. He sure was.
but he really promoted those Massey Ferguson tractors at one time.
He did, and he brought Nissan. I mean, not Nissan, but he was offered a dealership, a Nissan dealership back in those days. He was told that story years ago. But anyway, great guy. But
well, you've been doing these type. This is a little bit different way to have an auction, and apparently it's catching on.
It is. It's kind of, it really caught on during COVID when, we couldn't get crowds together like we can. We're back to those crowds now, but you can touch a lot of people in a lot of different areas. It also gives you a way that you can kind of stay in the comfort of your home and bid on things. And it doesn't, especially right now in these hot summer days, it's just hard to stay out in this heat for 8 or 10 hours and go to a sale like that. So it has its place.
And I guess it takes a while for it to catch on, but it sounds like more and more people are adapting to this.
They are. More and more people are adapting as the younger generation goes to collecting antiques. They're more in tune with how all this works, and it takes a younger generation to help me with it, to be honest with you. But we enjoy doing them. There is a place for it. There is a place for it for sure.
Okay, Helene, you've got some information for us.
We sure do. We have a new listing that came online just this morning. Brand new construction in Hartsville. It is just off Highway 10, 365 Highway 10. It's beautiful brick home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, just over 1,600 square feet, 1.25 acres. I was looking at it this morning thinking, I need to drive up to Hartsville. Beautiful home, just no detail has been spared in this lovely home. So if you want to take a look at it, of course, you can call the office at 615-444-0909. Hayden or Cassie can help you take a look at that home, but it's a beautiful new construction. Again, it just came online this morning, so we know it won't be there long.
Yeah. Well, you're looking for listings.
Always looking for listings, but if you're looking for a new home, if you want to upsize or downsize, or if you're not sure if you want to list your home, just give us a call and we can help you make that decision, tell you what the market is like, and we can help you with what you want to do.
I bet a lot of people do want to know what their home is worth.
Absolutely. We can come out and talk you through that and help you understand what has sold in your area. You don't really know what's available or what is the market is like or what your home can sell for. So until you talk to a professional, and we can help you walk you through that.
And of course, we try to remind people occasionally here. This is on the information sheet that I have for you. Community trusted since 1977. I think that says a lot.
Yeah, we've been around for a while, and we're well trusted, and we love our community. So we're here, and we're here to stay.
And have been voted best of Wilson County a number of times as well.
Absolutely.
What do y'all got for the 4th of July?
Well, I was asking Aline on the way out here if she had plans on the 4th of July, and she said she did. She asked me if I did, and I said, well, no, I don't.
What we do know is that the office will be closed on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So everyone can enjoy their 4th of July with their family and friends. So we will not be open on Tuesday.
But one more time, this auction you've talked about this morning, remind us quickly again.
The bidding starts on July the 3rd. It'll run through Monday, July the 17th at 6 p.m. We'll start a soft close there. We will have a pickup on the 20th, and there'll be a viewing day will be the July the 13th. So you can come out on the 13th and be able to look and inspect all these items on the 13th. And hopefully you get online and get registered in early and kind of practice a little bit. If you haven't started the process of an online auction, you need to get on there and practice just a little bit.
And again, the location here?
It's down in Gladeville at 9260 Stewart's Ferry Pike. Down in Gladeville, I call it the Glade. I was raised down there. I can do that. But anyway, it's on Stewart's Ferry Pike in Gladeville.
Well, you're old stomping.
That's right. That's right.
Well, thank you all for being with us. Have a nice weekend, a great 4th, and we'll see you next Thursday.
All right. Thank you, Coleman.
Thank you, Coleman.
Jay White and Helene Cash with A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main in Lebanon. Phone number again is 615-444-0909, and that website, www.agandjohnson.com. We are 21 before the hour, and my guest this morning is Dr. Hadel Patel, and we're going to go to the telephone. She could not be with us in studio, but we pick up the phone and say hello to Dr. Hadel Patel. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to hear your voice and glad to have you with us. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, and looking forward to a great weekend and a 4th of July next Tuesday. But right now, looking forward to talking to you about Lebanon Family Pharmacy at 1311 West Main in Lebanon. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, absolutely.
What's on your mind this morning?
Well, first, I wanted to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. We are going to be closed on Tuesday, but we'll be open Friday, which is tomorrow, and then we'll also be open on Monday. Mm-hmm. So no 4-day weekend for us this time.
Well, we have you with us from time to time, and what we talk about, the Lebanon Family Pharmacy, which is a little bit different. There's some uniqueness about your pharmacy, about you really, and about the way that you carry on your business.
Yes, that is true. What we do here is a little bit different. We counsel patients based on their symptoms and what their experience is before they actually need treatment. So it's basically like pre-diabetes or pre-hypertension. So we kind of start taking care of ourselves before we even reach to the point where we would need medical treatment or prescription medicine. So we kind of approach the problem from more of a prevention perspective than the treatment perspective.
Well, I think as you have described this and you have won some people over to your way of thinking here in that a little bit different approach to what maybe a lot of people have been used to all these years.
Yes, absolutely. We have so many people that walk in and always say that, hey, we heard you on the radio, and you were talking about this and it really got me interested. So we always, are open for any kind of conversation. They bring in their prescription medicine as well, and they asked me that, hey, how can I reduce my prescription medicines? And then when you notice that the blood pressure medicines, a lot of them are prescribed separately, like individually, when there are manufacturer companies that have combined those products and made it into one pill instead of taking 2 or 3 different pills. So I had a few people that brought their prescriptions from other pharmacies, and they're like, well, I'm taking all these. How can I reduce them? So we were able to reduce, 7 medicines to 3 medicine, like 3 pills. And that was great for the patient because it's less pill burden, and they were so happy. And they're like, well, now I don't have to pick up 7 medications. Now I can just pick up 3 and call it a day. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So they were happy. Like I said, it's a free service, no strings attached. We don't expect you to transfer your medicines. It is nice if you do, because then I can keep a track of everything and make sure that, you know, if the doctor prescribes something new, or if you're thinking about adding like a herbal regimen to it, I can keep an eye out on the side effects and make sure that it doesn't interact with your medication. So it's nice if you transfer your medication. It also helps out a small business run the business, but it's not required. I always tell people that you can bring in bottles from any pharmacy, and we will never expect you to transfer them to us. It's a service that I want to offer the community because of what the community has given me.
One of the things people might raise their eyebrows a little bit in the beginning. Well, you're doing things differently. How did you learn all of this? So, what is your background? Why should I just? How do I find out about what you're saying here? Prove it to me, I guess. Do you get people who have some questions like that?
Yes, so that the example that I gave you about 7 to 3 is a real example. So that is somebody that brought in bottles from Walmart and said that, you know, I heard you on the radio and I want to talk to you more about it. So it is true examples, and it's really working. I mean, whatever, you know, we're doing, it's helping a lot of people. And where it comes from, Coleman, really is the community service aspect that I was always raised with. I grew up part in India and part in Africa. And those countries, while growing up, now it's different. They have more resources now, but when I was growing up, there were not that many resources available. So my grandparents always taught me that if somebody is helping you out, it's your duty to help other people out. It's just a chain of good things that we are creating. So it's not just taking the favor and then hiding behind, you know, something. It's taking the favor and giving it back to somebody that really needs it. And our community here, I also went and talked to the people at the Senior Citizen Center a while back, and when we did their bingo game, I had a few people come in from there too, and they're like, you know, we have several people come in, but we never received the information that you actually do provide. Like, nobody has the time to talk to us. And I think that's what our seniors need in this community. It's just, you know, somebody that they can talk to. It doesn't have to be about medications. It doesn't have to be about, you know, herbal supplements. It could be about anything that they want to come and talk to about. So we really, really do want to provide a service that everybody can use. And that just comes from the way I was, you know, growing up and the way I was raised. And the community itself here in Lebanon has given me so much. They've opened me with welcome arms. And, you know, they have... when we had our second anniversary on Flag Day, we had so many people that stopped by, you know, brought us flowers, brought us cards, you know, hung out with us and had some ice cream and, you know, got some goodies. So it really showed that the community cares and they really are happy that we're in town.
All right, it's time for us to take a break. Dr. Hadel Patel with Lebanon Family Pharmacy, which is located at 1311 West Main in Lebanon. And we're going to talk more after this break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, they have a deal designed to keep you ahead of schedule. Check out the world's #1 selling compact excavator, plus 0% financing. It's going on now until the end of the year. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We still see some heavy traffic volume making its way out of Rutherford County, right on schedule, actually westbound 24 through the Hickory Hollow area. Still on the scene of a wreck at West End at 17th there in the Midtown area. Out in Antioch, that wreck is in its clearing stages, 2800 block at Evergreen Ridge. Hopefully that'll be moved over in just a few more minutes. Hey, it's time to call Crest Pest Control, especially if you've got mosquitoes. And we got 4th of July coming up. They can get it done before then. Call Crest Pest Control today at 601-6503. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
I do a lot of thinking while I'm driving. I think about my kids, my grandkids, and my insurance business. When's the last time you thought about having your insurance program reviewed? This is John Bryan with THW Insurance. We're an independent, trusted choice insurance agency representing several top-rated insurance companies like Westfield Insurance Company. Give me a call at 615-443-3849 for a no-obligation review of your current insurance plan. THW Insurance Services, serving Lebanon and Wilson County for decades.
Hey, this is Paul at Bates Ford. We got some great deals going on for you. 0% interest is back. We've got 0% interest on F-150s and Edges and rebates even up to $3,000. On the service side, we've got the Works vehicle package, which includes an oil change and a tire rotation. We'll meter beat anybody's price on tires. We have batteries for the low price of $149.95 installed on most vehicles. Come see us at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main Street, or visit us on the web at www.tonybatesford.com, the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat.
We continue here on this Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. And before we get back to Dr. Patel, let me just quickly remind you, the Lebanon Clowns Negro League Baseball team's 24th anniversary celebration is going to be held this Sunday, July 2nd. And Mary Harris wanted me to get the word out here. The guest speaker will be Dr. Charlie Edward McAdoo. And this is going to be at 3 o'clock at Pickett Chapel, 209 East Market and the Rock East Market Street. This year's Chris Price Award recipient, Morgan Price, and special recognition to Jalen Abston. And if you want more information, you can call 615-444-9487. And now back to Dr. Patel, Lebanon Family Pharmacy, 1311 West Main. You might just remind everybody again where 1311 West Main, you've got a really great place there to have an office.
Yeah, absolutely. We're located in the Bargain Hunt complex, where the Marty and Lee's shoes are, Papa John's, Mimi Nails. So it's just a complex, and we're at the end towards the nail salon. And, you know, it's a great location. We have lots of parking, you know, and we have a donut shop next to us, which is nice.
Well, one thing's for sure, parking is not a problem. There's a spacious parking area there.
There is, yeah. There is a lot of parking, and we don't have a drive-through yet. But if you need drive-through services, just park in front of the pharmacy and give us a call at 615-547-9556, and I'll run right out and help you with whatever you need.
All right. What else would you like to address this morning?
So this morning, I want to talk a little bit about our, you know, vaccines that we're supposed to be getting. Not the flu vaccines or not the COVID vaccines, but it's the other stuff that a lot of people normally don't talk about in everyday life. And the reason why I want to focus on this particular vaccine today is because if you've known me personally and you're friends with me on Facebook, you know that I've lost, you know, two really great men in our lives, one in the end of last week of May, and then the second gentleman we lost the very next week after that. And both of them we lost actually because of pneumonia. Now, they have battled a lot of things in their lives, but what got them was pneumonia. So I want to talk about the new pneumonia vaccine, which is the PCV20. I know a lot of people say that, well, I've already gotten the pneumonia vaccine. So they've either gotten the Prevnar 13 or they've gotten the Pneumovax 23. And then if you are 65 and older, you qualify for this new vaccine that they've came out with. It's called the PCV20. So that has 20 different strains in it that protects you from all the pneumonia-causing bugs out there. So we have a new one out, and if you're 5 years out from your last vaccine, and if you're 65 and older, you qualify for that vaccine as well. So if you want to know more information about it, you can always, like I said, call us at 615-547-9556, or you can shoot us an email at LebanonFamilyPharmacy@gmail.com. Or, you know, send us a message on Facebook if you use Facebook or Instagram.
Well, talk about the Facebook and Instagram a little bit. I'm just wondering how much you are contacted through those means.
We actually use it a lot. Some people, like on the weekends, when they have a question and the pharmacy phone is, you know, not operational because it's the weekend, we're closed, they'll just shoot us a message saying, hey, Dr. P, you know, I was probably going to be running out of this medication. Can you make sure that you ordered it for Monday delivery? And Saturday and Sunday, we can still place an order. We can't just receive the order until Monday. So some people that know us, and when we know their medications, we are able to place that emergency order on Saturday and Sunday if needed. Now, we're not at the pharmacy. Obviously, we have to do that from home. But it's an on-call line if you ever have a question. Or some people were like, well, I measured my blood pressure and this is what happened. What do I do now? And I was like, well, you're supposed to actually call your primary care provider or your urgent care close to you or go to the emergency room. But they choose to call their pharmacist first because that's, the relationship that they have established with them, and we're happy to help. So we'll always guide them on what they need to do over the weekend if that's the case.
Well, I take it that you are staying busy, and I think your business has grown and continues to grow. And as the word gets out, more and more people are coming to you with questions. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. And we actually do take all insurance plans. But we're not a preferred pharmacy for Humana or Cigna. So if you have those plans, you can still come to us, but your copay is going to be a little bit different with Cigna and Humana. But everything else, we're preferred with those insurances. We do take all, but like I said, if you're not preferred, then your copay structure is going to be a little bit different. And that's, we're always upfront about it. We don't we don't give surprises to our patients. So we tell them that this is what's, going to happen if you decide to transfer your medications. That I don't know what your copay is going to look like, but we're very honest. We'll tell them that, hey, when you transfer your medicines, and if you feel like your copay is a little bit higher than your older pharmacy, I will be happy to send it back to them. It's not like, that because we had that conversation, that you have to stay with us. So it really does help, but people first needs to give it a try. If you never try something, you're never going to know what kind of service you're getting.
Yeah, well, it does seem that you are trying your best to be upfront about all these issues with as little misunderstanding as possible.
Yes, and there, some issues you will discover as you go along. And me and the patients, we work together to figure out, okay, what's going on with this, and then we'll come up with a plan. So it's not something that, you're just going to be in the dark about, or it's just something that somebody dropped a ball on and now they don't care about what's going on with you, or, that they just don't have the time to deal with that as well. So we stay on top of everything, and we'll try to communicate with our patients as much as we can about everything that's going on, and try to work with them to figure out what's the best solution for them, not for me. What's best for my business, that's not what I look at. What's best for my patient is what I focus on.
Well, there's a lot to learn, a lot to understand about the way Medicare, the way the government drug program, all of this works. There's and you have to, as a pharmacist here, you really have to be on your toes to make sure you're doing well, as we say, dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's. And I think you're doing your very best to stay up to date on that and inform others. Yep.
Yes, you have to, because this is something that it's very crucial. If you mess up, you could, mess up somebody's life. And that's not what we want to school for. That's not what our ethics and morals teach us. So we have to stay on top of everything. And with Medicare plans, I always tell people that if you really, really like a pharmacy, and if you really want to work with the pharmacist there, what you can do is, and if your insurance is restricting it this year, that, well, no, you have certain insurance, you have to go to a certain place. Well, next time it's time to choose your Medicare plan, just make sure you talk to the rep that you're dealing with, and make sure you tell them that, hey, this is the pharmacy I like. This is the pharmacist I like. Can I make sure that my plan includes this pharmacy as a preferred network pharmacy? So that way their copays don't change from what they've already been getting. So that's something that people can keep in mind when they're choosing their plan next year.
Yeah, and of course, everybody that you deal with is not 65 or whatever age you get on Medicare. A lot, no doubt, are. But it's somewhat of a different ballgame for people who are not on Medicare, right?
Yeah, well, with commercial plans, it's different. Commercial plans, it really doesn't matter But with the Medicare plans is where like a lot of issues come with. So with commercial plans, they have a lot of freedom to go wherever they want in, in a lot of ways. But with other plans, it's more of an issue, especially with Medicare plans. And then we also have a lot of patients that don't have insurance, which is okay. You don't have to have insurance to come to our pharmacy. If you're a cash-paying patient, if you're using GoodRx card, we try to match those GoodRx prices as best as we can. So we want to make sure that we, cut out the middleman and deal directly with our patients. So why even go through all the coupons and pay a bunch of fees and the patients have to pay like a subscription to get good deals? We don't do any of that. We just give you a straight up a very good deal that matches with the GoodRx coupons, and then just call it a day from there.
All right, Dr. Hadel Patel with us, Lebanon Family Pharmacy. We've got 2 minutes left here this morning. We mentioned 4th of July, and you're going to be closed. And I don't think you weren't born in this country, were you?
No. I was born in India, and I went part of my schooling in India, and then part in Africa. There's a country called Malawi in Africa, so I stayed there for a few years, and then I moved to the United States when I was in high school.
Well, the reason I kind of bring this up here, I mean, you're one of us now. You are an American, and no doubt you have a love for the country and for the free enterprise system, and the fact that you can come here in Lebanon, Tennessee, and start a successful business. That's something to celebrate on July 4th, isn't it?
Absolutely. A lot of people were like, well, you're Indian. Why do you even celebrate 4th of July? And I was like, you have no idea. So I'm Indian by birth, but, by my culture, I might be Indian, but I have every single, drop of my blood screams American. We really do enjoy living in this country and all of the freedom that it has given us, all of the opportunities that it has given us. And I always say this, that if you work hard, you will get whatever you desire in this country. And that is the reason I will never move to any other country besides America.
All right. Well said. Thank you for being with us. Dr. Hadel Patel, Lebanon Family Pharmacy, 1311 West Main. The telephone number 615-547-9556. Thanks again, and we will see you next time, okay?
Thank you, Coleman. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. That is going to do it for this Thursday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Friday edition, and until then, I wish you a tremendous day.